sorry. Today we're looking at learning styles. So the objectives for today are that participants will be able to describe the learning styles and explain both the limitations of learning styles and how they can be used to support students. Okay. So let's look at some community guidelines. We are happy if you are here. If you are late, please to join the conversation as you are able to, but do try and make an effort to arrive on time. Usually I kind of start 5 minutes afterwards to give people those 5 minutes to kind of arrive. And if you have IT problems, that's okay. If you have to leave and come back, that's okay. I understand that. Mute yourself when you are not talking. We want to be able to hear everyone. So sometimes if you're unmuted, it causes a lot of background noise and it's hard to hear people. But then remember that if I ask a question or if you're discussing a topic, to unmute yourself so everyone can hear you. Remember to speak loudly when you are talking as well. Please complete the pre-class interactive self-paced slides and the post-class feedback forms. This will help us revise and develop course content. Okay. If you have any questions or technical issues during the session, please email us at info.hett@gmail.com. Obviously, I can't control your internet, but if there is anything I can help with, I am more than happy to help with it. Or you can type in the chat box if you'd like. But yeah, there are limitations on what I can help with. But if there's anything I can help with, just let me know. And if you are having problems, that's okay. If you can't hear or if you can't, if your microphone's not working or your video's not working, that's all right. Okay, so just to let you know, my name is Lisa Vance. I will be facilitating this training. And I've previously worked in Myanmar, so I've done some teacher training. I've taught English, I taught environmental education. Yeah, Kathleen, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Kathleen Greiwe. I'm an English and Spanish teacher, and I've taught online and in Mexico, but right now I'm located in the United States.
Cool, very cool. Okay, how well do you understand learning styles? So we're going to do a show of thumbs, so not at all, and completely understand learning styles, and then kind of in between, so you can kind of decide how well you understand. So on the count of 3, so 1, 2, 3. How well do you understand learning styles? Okay, some people in the middle. Okay. So what types of class activities help your students learn best? Does anyone want to share with me? So has any?
For me,
Yeah.
yeah. In my classroom, sometimes I use group work, group learning styles, and sometimes I used individual learning style, because learning style may be different according to the people.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else? Oh, I see a comment. Just one sec in the chat box. Interactive activities. Okay, good. Yeah, and that's a true comment. So the term we're using is learning styles, but sometimes like learning styles can be kind of a broader term, or it can talk about different types of learning styles. We're going to be talking about the most like common learning styles. When you're talking about learning styles, it's kind of what comes up the most often. So when we're talking about learning styles, does anyone know what we mean then? So we are talking about like the most common learning styles, which is a certain type. think it goes VARK. Has anyone heard of VARK? So,
Uh, audit, auditory,
yeah, auditory.
visual,
Yep.
uh,
Yeah. What else?
R is, I'm not sure about R, but RK, kinesthetic, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. So R is um well, let me it's a little is reading and writing. So kind of reading, writing. Okay, so yeah, visual, auditory, reading, and writing, and kinesthetic. So those are the 4 ones, and it's VARK or VARK, and it's kind of the most famous learning styles when you're talking about the term learning styles. Although sometimes other programs will still use the term learning styles to talk about other things. And yeah, and they're a way to learn, a way to retain information, and that each person has their own. Okay. So looking at this, what is a visual learner? Or what do you think a visual learner is? See a chat. See and learn? Yeah. Does anyone want to add to that? So they learn by seeing. Good. Yeah. So yeah, definitely learn best with visuals, images, charts, graphs, discograms, graphic organizers, that type of thing. So that's kind of a visual learner. And how about an auditory learner? What is an auditory learner?
Uh, Someone make learning by hearing and listening.
Good, yep, by hearing and listening. So learn best when they hear information, listen to teachers speak, participate in discussions, record lessons, think out loud. Okay. What is a reading or writing learner? Okay, in the chat box. Oh, by listening, that's the other one. Yep. So how about reading and writing? Does anyone want to share? If not, that's okay. Oh,
Yeah, it's okay.
yeah. Read, write, and learn. Yeah, in the chat box. Learn best through written language, read text, take notes, write answers. And the last one, a kinesthetic learner. What is a kinesthetic learner?
In my opinion, by learning, by making touch and moving materials, something like that.
Yes, by like, yeah, touching and moving and things like that, physical movement. So through hands-on activities, labs, manipulatives, problem-solving assignments, and flashcards. Okay, so we're going to do kind of a poll exercise. So you will see an activity example on the slide. Click the learning style that best fits with the activity. Okay. Let me just pull the poll up. So is it visual, auditory, reading, writing, or kinesthetic? Which one do you think best fits? So I'll give everyone about a minute to answer. Participate in a debate or class discussion about the importance of bees. So visual, auditory, reading, writing, or kinesthetic. I'll give you 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the majority said auditory, and I would agree. So if you're having a class discussion, you're listening and you're talking, so it would be auditory. Next one. You visit a bee farm and take pictures of yourself caring for the bees. So you actually visit the farm and you're taking care of the bees. Is that visual, auditory, reading, writing, or kinesthetic? You have about 1 minute. Okay, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. So I would actually disagree with the majority here. It's I would say kinesthetic. I know it's a bit confusing because it said take pictures, but you're visiting the bee farm. You're actually like looking after the bees. You're touching the bees. You're looking after them and everything, and then you're taking a picture with them. So it's not that you're looking at a picture of them. If you'd been looking at a picture, that might be visual, but you're actually like working with the bees, so that would be kinesthetic. Okay, create a graphic representation of the work bees do in the world. So maybe like a picture or something like that. So is that visual, auditory, reading, writing, or kinesthetic? So it's an image or a picture. A graphic representation is like an image or a picture. Okay, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So I would actually disagree with the majority here. So I would say it's visual because you're creating an image to show. So you're like in your head, you're thinking of what it looks like, and then you're creating it. So it's all very visual. Okay, but of course, like these don't have to be exact. These are just ideas. Write a letter to the editor explaining why we need to protect bees. So maybe for a newspaper or magazine, why do we need to protect bees? And you're writing a letter to the editor. So you have 1 minute. I think this one's the easiest. Oh, I think everyone already answered that one. So maybe I'll just end it there in like 10 seconds. Okay. So reading, writing. So that one was a lot easier, I think, for people. Okay, excellent. So that's our poll questions. So does anyone know any criticisms of the VARK or VARK learning styles model of learning styles? Any criticisms? Because this model has actually been criticized quite a lot. Okay. So although this model is used a lot, and it's used a lot by educators and by everyone in general, it is not actually scientifically proven to increase student learning. So they've done some research into it. They've tried to, what they've done is they've had teachers teach directly to someone's learning style and then in general to other learning styles. And they found it doesn't actually increase someone's learning or retention, ability to remember, by focusing only on that learning style. So if someone fills in a test and they get auditory, they do not actually get the best test score through auditory type activities. So that is one large criticism of it, is that scientifically, it doesn't actually increase a student's learning. So teaching a student through a lesson that matches their learning style does not increase their ability to learn any more than using a learning style that does not match what they received or what their learning style is. So that's kind of a huge criticism of it, even though it is widely used. Are there still ways we can use the theory of learning styles to help students, though, and how? Does anyone have any suggestions? You can put it in the chat box if you want, or you can tell me. So we talked about different activities. So how could this kind of be useful around maybe different activities? Good. Use a variety of ways to interact with the students. Good, that's correct. So maybe it doesn't work to directly teach that learning style to the student, but a variety of activities can improve student engagement. So maybe it doesn't help them learn exactly, but it might help them stay engaged. So you have to look at it as in, if you use these styles, then the students are more engaged. It may not mean that they learn better, but they may just pay attention more and they might be more interested. And that's an important part of learning. Like, you want your students engaged and interested. So sometimes what they do, instead of calling them learning styles, they call them learning preferences. And that's a little bit better of a way to look at it. Like, what ways do your students prefer to learn? What kind of activities do they prefer to do so that they're more engaged? And then using a lot more variety, use different ones. Use some visual activities, use some auditory activities, some reading and writing, mix it up so that they're more engaged. So you can do this. You can support your students' preferences by using a variety of teaching methods. So you can use some visual, auditory, reading or writing, kinesthetic. So try and use all of them and think about it as you're teaching. Give students choice. So maybe if you have an assignment, maybe you can offer 2 ways that they can do that assignment. Maybe they can do a PowerPoint, maybe they can do an essay. So think of how they can do that assignment in different ways to make it more engaging for them and more interesting for them. Creating learner profiles. So this is where you kind of can do a survey and figure out what your students are interested in. So what are the benefits of using a variety of teaching methods? Anyone? Or in the chat box? Oh, there we go. Yeah, we can create a positive learning environment. Good. So engage all students, meet different expectations of students. Good. Improve understanding. Good. Yeah. So engage all students no matter which learning style they prefer. Present information in different ways to reach different learners. Students won't become bored in class. So what are the benefits of giving students choice? So you can either tell me, or if you want to put it in the chat box, that's okay. So what are the benefits of giving students choice with assignments, homework, exams? Exams are a little bit harder, but okay. We can develop their critical thinking skills. Good. They will likely to do more. Yeah, if they enjoy it, if they choose a project or assignment that they like, they might do more on it and work harder. And yeah, they will enjoy doing it. They will actively participate. Yeah. They are more interested in lessons. Yeah, good. Oh, and there's one more. Improving motivation. Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. So students have more ownership over their work, so they might be more engaged. And students engage with the content in the way that is more meaningful to them. So again, kind of relates to the critical thinking that someone mentioned. Okay, what are the benefits of creating learner profiles? Good. Boost their engagement and motivation. Good. So what are the benefits of creating learner profiles? So keep track of progress. Yeah, you can do that. What else? So a lot of times a learner profile, you might do it at the beginning to just see what they're interested in, what topics they like, how do they like to learn, what activities do they like? Do they like group discussions? Yeah, to make effective lesson plans. Good. We can plan for the next period. Good. Yeah. So help teachers understand what types of activities the students enjoy. Teachers can tailor lessons to their specific students, and students reflect on their own learning process. So they can kind of think about how they learn best, like how they prefer to learn, I guess, how I should word it. Okay. So in groups, you will read a lesson topic. Use the paired deck to suggest activities to fit the needs of a visual, auditory, reading, writing, and kinesthetic learner. So kind of like, where is it? It's all the way back here now. Kind of like here where we had the different activities, but it's all around bees. So you have to think of 4 different activities, one for each of the different learning styles. Okay, let me see. Yeah, help teachers learn more about their students. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to put the link in the chat box. So there will be a topic, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, and one for each of the learning styles. You have to think of an activity or way of presenting that would match with that learning style. And I will put you in breakout rooms. So we have 9 participants. We'll do 2 breakout rooms. Okay. And you'll have to talk in the breakout rooms with each other. So work together to come up with activities that fit. You have 10 minutes.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll explain reading and writing. Reading and written assignment.
ကျင်းလိုမျိုးလေးရေးခိုင်းလိုက်ရောမှာရှေ့မှာ process နဲ့ process map နဲ့ပြောထားဆိုတော့
process writing
အဲ့လိုလေးပဲသွားလိုက်မယ်နော်မ Hi Linda so
Let's go through some of the answers then. So the first one is on visual, so I had to look a little closely. So some responses were by using a process map or diagram, good. By drawing the pictures of wave patterns in AC and DC, good. Drawing an illustration of how electricity flows through wires, good. Next one is auditory, by watching tutorial videos from YouTube, by explaining with examples, good. By questions and answers, good. First, I explain the definition of alternating current and direct current, and then I compare them and tell the main difference between them, yeah. Give a lecture about electricity and ask students to answer questions, yeah, those are all auditory. Reading and writing, by giving a written assignment, by creating a process writing, ask students to write compare and contrast essay. Yeah, I think the compare and contrast essay would be good. And last one, by visiting to the, so this is kinesthetic, by visiting to the electricity power station, by doing a practical tutorial, by showing a battery, and have a student build a mini circuit. So yes, all good examples. Excellent job. So which techniques will you use to support your students' learning styles or learning preferences? You can either tell me, or if you want to write it in the chat box, that's okay as well. So how can you kind of use this to support your students? Anything? You can write it in the chat box if you'd like. So which techniques would you use, or how could you use it in your own classroom? I know some of you, oh, there we go. Okay, depends on the lesson, read aloud, sing, yeah. So yeah, it does depend on a lot on what you're teaching. Different learning styles for different situations, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, an easy one is, like someone mentioned, YouTube videos to mix up your lesson. So instead of just lecturing, you can bring in a YouTube video, it changes things up, has someone else. You can download YouTube videos so you don't even need internet. Okay, maybe all of them, but I'm to choose visual reading, writing that we can do in ELT classrooms. Yeah, so actually I would say ELT is probably one of the easiest ones to use the different learning styles with, because you can think of like visual ways to present information like flashcards. You can think of videos, auditory, you can do like listening activities. You can do videos. You can bring in like real examples, like if you're talking about sports, you can bring in like a baseball or something. Okay. How can knowing your students' learning styles help you be a better teacher? So if you know your students' learning styles or learning preferences, how can that help you be a better teacher? So if you created a learning profile based on their learning preferences, how does that help you? Good. To encourage the student's strength, yeah, good. interacting with them. Yeah, it's most basic. Anything else? Okay, excellent job. So how well do you understand learning styles? So not at all and like completely, then you can have kind of in between. So on the count of 3, can you please show me? 1, 2, 3. And if you don't want to open your video, you can also do a thumbs up or thumbs down on your screen, but there's no middle. Okay, excellent. Excellent job. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. We're finished a few minutes early for this one, but that's okay. So the course feedback form I will be sending out to you. I will include it in that email. Will also be an invitation to join the Google Classroom. I will put all the slides on the Google Classroom for you to look at. Next week's topic, we're going to be looking at diversity in the classroom. And the syllabus is also in the Google Classroom, so you can kind of see it. And so each week we'll have a different topic that we will be covering related to teacher training or teacher education. Okay. And if you have any questions or anything outside of when we have class time, you can also write the questions in the Google Classroom or send me an email, info.hett@gmail.com. Okay. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Bye, teacher
Thank
Alicia.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Goodbye.